C4. It's time! Parker King from Parker, Texas, Parker King!
Welcome back, everyone. Episode 80 of Parker's MMA show. We have a recurring guest on tonight, Landry, the Lone Star Kid Ward. He's a 3-0 professional MMA fighter fighting in the lightweight division, and he is the newest signing to Combate Global's 155-pound roster. Can't wait to catch up with him on everything that's been going on and what his goals are for the new promotion. So, Landry, thank you so much for coming on the show.
I appreciate y'all having me.
So, Landry, talk to me about how this Combate deal came together. How did you end up signing with them? How did they find you? How did this all go down?
So my second amateur fight was in Mexico, and the promoter for that promotion that I fought for in Mexico knows a bunch of the matchmakers for Combate, and he's been trying to push for getting me signed with him for a while because I had a third-round knockout in that fight, and it was a really good fight, fun performance, and he really liked it then, and he kept in touch with my coach, my striking coach, who actually did that same promotion in Mexico. And I guess just the timing wasn't working out, like leading up to it. And then now they're doing their shows here in Miami at the Univision studio. And it's right down the street from where I'm living at now. So it's kind of a perfect storm to get me signed up and fighting for them.
So obviously you had a lot of avenues you could have taken at this point in your career. You're 3-0 in XKO, which is kind of the place where everybody starts in North Texas fighting regionally. Why did you choose Combate? Like, what about it kind of speaks to you as a place where you can kind of take the next step in your career?
It's a promotion. They're making a lot of moves. They just signed a deal with Paramount Plus and CBS Sports. That's for the English, their English side of viewership, and then obviously they're huge in Latin America. And, it's a big promotion, put on fun, exciting fights. And like I said, I know that guy who helps talk with the matchmakers there. Heard nothing but good things from him. Watched some fights, and it just seemed it was a perfect storm for them being lined up down here and me liking the way they do things. So I'm ready to go put on a show for the Latin American fans, gain a new fan base all over the world.
And especially, Landry, when you talk about kind of the English-speaking face of Combate, I mean, I'd be remiss to not mention Campbell McLaren. Have you met Campbell yet, or have you spoken to him at all? And kind of what are your impressions of him from just what you've heard from people?
Yeah, I've not met him yet, but the impressions are that he's very intense, and he's I don't know the word to use. I guess intense is the word to use. Always happy, energetic, crazy guy. I'm excited to meet him, and I know after I go get a nice knockout, he's gonna love to have me.
So obviously, traditionally, Combate has catered to Spanish-speaking audience. As a person that's neither Latin or Hispanic or speaks the language, what do you think you're going to bring to the table, and how are you going to set yourself apart from the other fighters in the organization, and make yourself a household name to that fan base?
Do the same exact thing that I did in my second amateur fight. Go into what's perceived as enemy territory, but traditional Mexican and Latin fans they love fighters, and they especially love good fighters. So I'm just going to go in there and do what I do, put on exciting, a little bit flashy, beautiful striking, give me a nice clean knockout, and they're gonna fall in love with it.
What's your biggest message to get out there to the Combate fans?
Oh, biggest message. The gringo is coming.
There we go.
So, Landry, you've never fought outside in your professional career. You've never fought outside Texas. You've never fought outside DFW. You've never fought outside XKO. Are there any reservations for you at all? Is there anything that you sit there and you have second thoughts about in terms of fighting on a bigger stage, fighting outside, arenas that you're comfortable with, or is this all just gung-ho balls to the wall for you?
Yeah, that was definitely something that I thought about. I at this point in my career thought I was ready for a bigger step up to a bigger promotion, and not fighting in Texas and in front of all my friends and family is going to be different. But I mean, that's just an outside factor. I'm just focused on fighting, and that's really what I want to go do. It's been since January that I fought, so all I'm worried about is going and fighting, and all those other side factors are pushed to the side. And at least they'll be able to stream it and watch me live, and I'll live through their little videos of their watch parties they'll be having for me.
Is there a part of you that thinks actually that might be an advantage to you, where you're obviously a Texas guy, but you train in Florida, you have the fights in the Univision studios, right down the street from where you train? Is there a part of you that says, down here I can go basically gym fight, right? And really just keep that regiment. Whereas back home, maybe I have family or I have friends, I have people who want to go out. I'm a little small town famous, maybe. Talk to me about that. Does that play a factor in being able to take this step up?
Are you saying just in general of moving down here, training? Not necessarily the fight being down here.
Well, is it almost better for you having the fight be in Florida because there's fewer distractions than there would be, fighting in North Texas, where you have friends and family bugging you for tickets and, wanting to party afterwards and this, that, and the other thing?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely takes a little bit of distractions away, but my friends and family that I'm real close with back home, they understand now that I've been in the game for a few years and had a bunch of fights back there. They see how I lock in, but whenever I have a fight set up, so they're pretty good about not bugging me and oh, Kai come get a ticket, Kai come get a shirt, Kai come take a picture, say what's up, and so it's not too much of a difference, but it is good that I don't have to get on a plane and travel, even if it's not much, only a 3-hour flight, still take that day, your body get adjusted from the jet lag. So that's a good thing. But the only thing that sucks is they're still doing the whole COVID protocol, so we have to quarantine the hotel on Monday. So it's a little different. But, yeah, the distractions, there's a little bit, but not too many when I go back home. So
when you go to – I mean, obviously you said the gringo's coming, right? So there's a little bit of a badge of honor, the English speaker coming into the Spanish-speaking promotion. But does it mean something to you to represent the state of Texas in a promotion, especially like Combate? Obviously, Texas is a heavy Hispanic and Spanish-speaking state, probably one of the biggest fan bases in the United States for Combate. I mean, does that mean something to you to say, I'm going to wear the badge of Texas, I'm going to carry that on my back, and I'm going to go in there and knock these guys out for our state?
Absolutely. My Lone Star Kid, always walking out with my Texas flag. That's that's tradition. I'm 6th generation Texan, so that red, white, and blue runs through me. And yeah, that obviously Mexico, Texas bordered. Mexico's come there a lot. Mexico is a huge Univision, supporting Combate. I'm actually about to fight a Mexican, so we'll be a little Texas, Mexico going there. Yeah, I asked they asked if I wanted to represent, what country I wanted to represent, and I told them, make it Texas. I want my shorts to have the TEX, not the USA. So yeah, fighting and representing Texas is huge for me. I'll put the state on my back and make some even more fans throughout the whole state after.
Do you have any reservations, Landry? Obviously, you're walking in enemy territory here. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of Hispanic Texans and even English-speaking Texans who are fans of Combate, but at the end of the day, the bread and butter for Combate is the Mexican fan base. You're going to walk in there with those Texas shorts. You're the villain, which is a little different than what you're used to, probably walking in with Texas shorts. As a guy who's just kind of a nice guy, do you have any reservations about playing the heel?
No, I don't mind it at all. I love it. Sometimes, I don't know if you saw that Ibrahimovic video. It says sometimes you got to play the good guy, sometimes you got to play the bad guy. When you play the bad guy, you find out what people really think. But yeah, I don't mind playing the bad guy at all. I wish there would be fans. I wish it even would be like actually in enemy territory where we could maybe get some booze or something. I would like to feel that outside pressure, before making it to the big shows and experiencing all that. But it's just fun. It doesn't put more pressure on me, but it makes me know that I have to go in there with the way judging is in sports, especially MMA. I gotta go in there and really, really put a beating on this guy and make it definitive.
So who's your opponent? What's the date, and what do you know about the guy?
His name's Alfredo something. He's a Mexican guy. I watched one video. He had like a 4-ounce gloves Muay Thai fight not too long ago. He's just a big. We'll see if he makes weight. He's a bigger guy. I think he's my height, but a little bit thicker. Let's see, 2-0 MMA. I didn't see his Muay Thai record, but yeah, bigger guy. A little slow, so he just carries a little bit of power. That's about all I got to be ready for. And the date is July 16th, next Friday.
Shit. All right, let's go.
So, July 16th, Landry Ward, debut Combate Global, right? You're coming out there. What is, if I've never seen a Landry Ward fight, what do I expect as a fan?
Just watching with no fans. Just expect beautiful violence. I love to mix it up in the striking and everything. Try to make my striking look pretty, as pretty as possible, and excitement. I've never been in a boring fight. I come to finish. I had two knockouts as an amateur, 3 wins, 3 knockouts. I come to finish fights and do it excitingly.
So Landry, it's been probably 6 months since we talked to you last. I know you've made the move down there to Florida. What, in your mind, is the biggest thing you've improved on over this time, going into your next fight?
Yeah, and to the last question, I said with no fans because when you add fans, it's just my fans, my supporters are incredible. They're loud and they get into opponents' heads even, I've heard said, so... Yeah, with fans, it's a whole nother ball game. But without fans, expect some beautiful violence. And what I've improved on, everything, man. This game is so ever evolving. You have to evolve every day in every aspect. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, striking, obviously. I put a lot of work in my complete MMA game, trying to have some MMA wrestling and grappling. Really hone in on that because that's the thing that took me a little bit longer to pick up on, but everything's coming together beautifully. And I just think I'm getting more well-rounded as the days go on. And I don't think I'll have to show that wrestling off, but I might bring it out. I might bring out the MMA wrestling on the 16th.
There you go. So, what else? Obviously, like I said, we talked about 6 months ago. You're signed with a new organization. What else is on your list for the rest of the year? As far as MMA goes, or your personal life.
Yeah, after this fight, I want to be active. I want to fight at least. How many more months? I want to try to get at least after this one 2 more fights in before the end of the year. I want to be active and try to fight 4 times a year if possible, maybe 5 or 6. I've been going way too long with layoffs in between fights, but it's been good because I've been in the gym constantly. But as I push that and I'm growing, I want to push some business too. I got the lonestarkidmma.com. That's my symbol. Putting up gear and everything like that. There's a couple of different ventures I want to get off into, but right now, I'm so focused on the fighting that stuff will come in due time. But mainly, I want to keep evolving and getting these wins in the cage. And we'll see what happens with a bigger contract. This was a single fight contract. So we'll see what happens after this one, how many more fights they want for.
I heard
Go ahead, Billy.
I heard your brother was also talking about potentially fighting. I heard that rumor bouncing around. Any truth to that, Landry?
I don't think so. I haven't talked to him about it.
No? Okay.
Landry, Landry, I saw you, kind of in the room with Michael Chandler a lot leading up to his title fight. What was it like being in the room with a guy like that that's a veteran of the sport, that's kind of seen and done everything? And what's like one of the most important things you picked up from your time with him?
Being around a guy like that, it's crazy. You gotta soak up the time you get working with him. He brought me in as a training partner, and I worked a lot with him. His energy, the way he attacks training sessions, the way he locks in, the thing to pick up on from world champion and elite level athletes, that the way they hone in on their craft and they're really not focused on, outside stuff. Whenever they step on the mats, there's not a lot of talking. It's a lot of, working, focused on the coach, and then let's get this job done. He was a real cool guy, treated me well. Well, one big thing was I'm trying to think how to word. He's real smart in particular about how he trains and listening to your body and who you train with as well. There's some people will see that you have a name and they want to attack that name in the gym. They'll go out of the way. So being smart about stuff like that and just listening to your body and training like a true champion.
Awesome.
I was blessed to get those rounds in with him for sure.
Yeah, it's cool to see you in there with him. So obviously we got a big lightweight fight this weekend. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier in the trilogy. We want to talk to you briefly just about this weekend and kind of pick your brain a little bit about game plan and stuff like that. So,
especially being such a big striking guy, Landry, I know this is a matchup that probably entices you as a fan.
This is a fun one.
Absolutely. So, all right, let's go back to their second fight. What did you make of the game plan for both guys?
Conor just had a complete, they say he was getting ready for the Pacquiao fight, so I want to believe it based on the way that he came out. He was on that front foot, just waiting for Dustin to throw something, and he countered. And damn, his counters were amazing up until he started getting kicked in the leg. That dude, at first round, he clearly won and was having some amazing success. But he came out extremely boxing heavy, not a lot of movement, heavy on the front leg, just focused on sitting down on punches. Poirier, you really never know what his game plan is. Obviously, he came out with that one takedown, but I don't know if that was a game plan thing or if that was just he saw he was heavy, and whenever he countered was on his front foot and was like, oh, I got this takedown right here. Made him work up a little bit. But he likes to move a lot, put a lot of volume. And he said on the Embedded series today, I don't know if you watched that, they were like, oh, his game plan to calf kick. He's like, that wasn't a game plan. And he's like, I just saw I had it, so I threw a calf kick, and it started landing. But I think if we see Conor come out with more movement, mix up that boxing style, sit down on some punches, but also mix in that karate Conor that, he started out as, I think we see Conor get a win this weekend. He's one of the smartest fighters there is, so I think he makes the adjustments and comes out on top.
So obviously, Landry, I mean, you mentioned it here, right? The elephant in the room in that fight is the calf kick, right? That's what everybody wanted to talk about after that fight. How much is that a focus in kind of the everyday training obviously you're with a huge MMA gym, one of the best gyms in the sport. How much is that a focus of training, like defending these calf kicks? How often are you seeing it in sparring? And how are you kind of like personally preparing yourself to defend against it?
Yeah, calf kicks have definitely taken over the game. They were very huge. Like, sometimes people harp on things way too much. Sometimes there's one little thing you can do to, try to counteract it, but just working on different checks. Also, Chandler had a different type of technique that he wanted to do to check it as well. Just different little key movements that you can do to try to offset it. But yeah, people throw that on. Not anymore. They're throwing straight to the calf. Try to get your ankle to wrap around the back and catch it. But yeah, just a little different marks to do it. But also, you harped on the big gym. I actually did end up leaving Sanford. So the coach I started with, Darren Navarro, he was at a different gym down here in Florida. An up-and-coming gym, if you look up, it's called Goat Shed Academy. And, Sanford's like an hour away from my house. So I ended up leaving Sanford and getting back with him at the Goat Shed Academy. So now we're back there, and, things are going good.
Very cool.
A little side note, like on your camp situation, obviously you're a young guy. What is your game plan moving forward? Are you going to kind of bounce around and just try to pick up as much knowledge as you can, or do you want to find a home base?
Yeah, this is definitely my home base. The coach I started with, I moved down here from Texas with him, and we were at a gym when we first started. Some things happened there, and we both left. He was looking for a gym to coach at. And during that meantime, I had reached out to Henry Hooft, and he knew somebody that fought at Sanford. So they talked to Henry. We went up there and talked to him together. Then I went to Sanford. He ended up getting a job at the gym I'm at now, Goat Shed. And it was hard for us to get our days to work in. So eventually it just led up that he was at this gym, and I was like, I want to be back with him full time. So I made the switch back to this gym, and we're back together full time. And, I love the people that I'm with there, too.
Awesome. So let's jump back to this weekend. In your mind, what does it do for Dustin Poirier mentally, knowing that he stopped Conor McGregor in that second round going into this trilogy fight?
He seemed very on point mentally going into the second fight. So can't even imagine what a knockout win does to your confidence and your mentality going into the third fight. Especially when your knockout loss was 2014 or 2015, so 7 years ago. It's just that's I'm trying. Every time that he's on camera, he's just a lot more calm than he was way back then. So you can tell that he deals with the pressure and the media and Conor's little jabs here and there so much better. So I think it just comes down to no outside factors. It's just going to be game plans and who comes ready to fight and who can take the most damage, because I think this one's going to be dragged out. We'll see if Conor's cardio holds up and if Dustin's chin holds up.
So give us your official prediction and tell us how you think it happens.
Official prediction, I think Conor makes the right adjustments, and he probably ends up stopping Poirier. Hard to pick around, but I'm going to say Conor in 3. If it goes past 3, I'm worried on that prediction.
By submission, right?
Submission, yeah, 100%. He's going to do an Ari roll, heel hook.
There you go.
Any other fighters or fights you're pumped about this weekend apart from the main event, Landry? I'm mouth-watering at the Wonder Boy and Gilbert Burns fight. The conflict, the styles, they're both just super nice dudes. So seeing them go to war, I think it's going to be a back-and-forth battle. But Wonder Boy, I love his striking, man. He's so beautiful to watch, and his movement is crazy. But Gilbert Burns is a bulldog, and we'll see if he can crack that code and close that distance and hit him. But yeah, that's going to be a real fun fight right there. And all right,
O'Malley. I wish he was fighting a better opponent, but I like watching O'Malley. So.
Sugar show.
Have you seen the memes that's like Dana White really found a Wish version of Sean O'Malley for On O'Malley to fight?
I did see that one.
I feel bad for the guy. Like he's like a decent regional fighter, but he's not on, he's not top 15 in the UFC, obviously.
Yeah, it's crazy they called up a 9-4 dude.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, when opportunity comes knocking, I guess they said we're doing everything we can to keep O'Malley's stock rising.
It's like a dude with like a record from the old Pride days where you always fought like the heavyweight champion, basically. So like, all these like great dudes are like 7-4, right? Like, but yeah, yes, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I haven't looked up who that guy has fought. Like if his losses were to great guys or anything. But yeah, it's a wild record to get called up into the UFC to fight a guy who's on the verge of breaking into the top 15.
Yeah, I can't believe it, to be honest. Well, before we get you out of here, Landry, we like to, finish everybody up with our rapid fire segment. We do it 5 questions, just like a 5-round fight. Try and make it something that's not about MMA. So I know you're a Texas guy, even though you left us to go to Florida. I got 5 Texas questions for you here, Landry. Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, no, don't stump me. Let's go.
All right. Question number 1. What is the best restaurant in Texas?
Ooh, best restaurant. Depends what kind of food you want. But
You got to pick one.
One. I'm going to go medium scratch.
Oh, there you go. All
Restaurant
right.
I used to work at in Grapevine. That place is awesome.
That is good food. I ate there this week, actually, on Monday.
Yeah. Love that place.
Question number 2. What Texas city has the best barbecue?
We're going forward.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. Question number 3. What Texas city has the best Mexican food?
Stumping me with it. I try it from different more cities, but we're going with Fort Worth again.
There we go.
It's a good pick. Question number 4. What is a small town or a hole in the wall in Texas that you really love?
All right, we're gonna go back to food. Sweetwater, Texas.
Mary's.
They have this place called Big Boys Barbecue. Oh, that place is too good.
Big Boys Barbecue. All right.
That place is fire.
Question number 5, Landry. What makes Texas special to you?
It's where I was born. It's where my family's from. Yeah, you can't beat your roots. So that's where my roots are. When this game's all said and done, that's where I'll be back to.
There it is. You heard it
All
from
right.
the Lone Star Kid himself. Landry, thank you for coming on the show. Any shout-outs, and let the people know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, be on social media, Instagram, lonestarkidmma, Twitter, lone_star_kid. Yeah, I want to give a shout-out to my sponsors who helped me for this fight. North Texas Boat Clean. We got PRS Systems, Condor Moving Systems, and Cannabis Monkeys. So I appreciate y'all's help and getting me through this fight camp, the struggles of being an up-and-coming fighter.
Hey, man, can't wait to watch you. July 16th, Combate Global, Paramount Plus, CBS Sports Network. Going to be able to watch the Lone Star Kid make his debut. And, man, can't wait to see, another Landry Ward knockout on that night. Thank you, everyone. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. This was episode 80. 80 episodes, Parker. Man.
Rocking and rolling.
Parker, anything to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I hope you get a knockout next week, and good luck in hunting season. Make it happen.
I will get a knockout, and I appreciate that. Hey, when I'm back in Texas, we got to bag some. And also, one thing, thank you, Jacob. He didn't have a business he wanted me to promote, but thank you for helping me out with the sponsorship as well.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right, man. We'll catch up with you later. Appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Good
Thanks,
luck.
Landry. You have a good one.
Take
Bye.
care.